I give it back tomorrow. And anything me lend me, I forget it back again. Slang, 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 down the lane. Me say me walking down the street, 2 man I meet. I'm walking down the street, 2 man I meet. One tall and brown, one black and I read. Him ask when me name a just Sister Nancy. Him ask when me live, me tell him Uptown City. Him ask when me born, me
You're in tune to the Powerhouse Radio, linking the world to the Caribbean. Disclaimer. The views and opinions expressed on the Powerhouse Radio station are those of the host, guests, and callers, are not necessarily those of this station, its management, or other hosts or advertisers. The show, found on the Powerhouse Radio station, can promote any lifestyle, belief, religion, political affiliation, or other personal practice. These shows are for entertainment purposes only and are not intended to treat, diagnose, and or claim any cure of disease or conditions. Opinions stated by various contributors to the Powerhouse Radio and its programming are not to be considered as endorsed by the Powerhouse Radio station. Visitors are urged to use their own discernment to draw their own conclusion. We emphasize the importance of keeping an open mind.
One by One Kia full range of products embodies fundamental nutrients necessary to maintain beautiful and healthy hair care without having to combine an assortment of hair care products. The One by One Kia products are designed to rejuvenate, moisturize, create shine, fortify, and stimulate hair growth while leaving your hair feeling weightless and luxurious. Be sure to visit our website at www.onebywwankaya.com and follow us on Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube at One by One Kia. Let's get your healthy hair care journey started today. The Hinkson Firm's mission is to provide superior legal service in the areas of family law, child welfare law, general legal services, and mediation by keeping convenience of the client at the forefront. The Hinkson Firm's goal is to eliminate the stress of an already intense situation in your life by coming directly to your workplace and or a location close to your home for consultation, meetings, and mediation. The Hinkson Firm customizes legal attention based on the needs of each client while treating every client with the dignity and respect they deserve, while fighting strongly and fiercely for justice and their legal rights. The Hinkson Firm can be reached at 470-499-4704.
Woo, woo, woo. Hey, hey. All around the world, people searching for love, but still can't find no peace of mind. Cause there ain't no love. Love is the answer.
This one is from the big
Love is the answer.
come back.
Give someone an helping hand. Try and do the very best you can. Cause we can't go on living like this. Without love, I say we can't exist. Love is the answer. Hey. Love is the answer. Throw away the bombs, throw away the guns. Killing people ain't no fun. To all politicians, stop the war in the motherland. Love the answer. Love is the answer. All around the world, people searching for love. They still can't find no peace of mind. Cause there ain't no love. Love is the answer. Love is the answer. Hey. Love is the answer. Gotta make a way, make a day for love. Gotta make a way, make a day for love. Gotta make a way, make a day for love. Gotta make a way, make a day for love. Hey. Love is the answer. Oh, wait.
Says love is the answer. That's the man Don. New song, new tunes that are out.
Late but here.
All of these things. Big up yourself, Mama Acid. How you doing?
Well, today is a challenging day, but I want to say to Lady D, thank you very much for all of the love and personal conversation earlier to help me get myself together because I've been facing some emotional challenges. And lately, Lady D has been helping me get through them. She always does, but it seems like lately I've been the patient.
No. It's all love. It's all
Wait a minute. I gotta say that this
what
shade of blonde really does
I was
wonders for you. You are gorgeous
thank
anyway, but
you.
this blonde right here, this platinum blonde, oh,
Thank
you
you.
starting a trend.
My voice, thank you. Now I can hear myself. I couldn't hear myself a minute there. I was like, it was a thank you. I'm just trying to be like you.
No way, no way. You still got a whole bunch of years before you get up here.
Man,
Someone, and you know what? Now that you say that, someone said something to me today at the supermarket. It wasn't that long ago, about a half hour ago. One of the ladies at the supermarket that's a cashier, she's always very nice to me. She said, "Wasn't your hair just red the other day?" I said, "No, it hasn't been red in about 2 years." And she said, "You grew all the hair in 2 years?" I looked at her. I said, "Yeah, but it's because I've been staying away from people." And she looked at me and she said, "Is that all it takes?"
you look good in every color. And I'm telling you,
Oh, you so kind.
you've done all colors, just about.
Man,
And I'm telling you, you look beautiful.
thank you so much. Because this year I'm going to try a new color.
Sucky now. Well, we want to say welcome to the guests, welcome to our listeners. And we're waiting for our guests to call in, our guests to call in if they're calling in and get it going. But in the meantime, so much has been going on, Acid, that, with the entertainment sector of it, we've left out so many things that needs to be discussed within this last, because this we were saying this was the fourth, but the third, but in actuality it's the fourth because we first had, I think, the interview with
Yeah, Mackie Conscious, and I wasn't on, so this is the fourth.
then we did Don, and then we went with Don and Mackie, and then we did Don and Mackie. So this is our fourth, um part four on reasoning and on entertainment. But before we go over there, we kicked off a little late, so maybe we go just a little bit over time, just a little bit. because I have a couple of stuff to do, and I know you do too. So a lot. I was watching the news the other day, and where should I even start? Where should I even start? There's so much. But I was watching one of the social media things the other day, and you have the little boy with the teacher. And I really wanted to touch that, as before we even dive totally into the entertainment. And I know you had something that you wanted to touch before we.
Is that the one where they were strangling a little 10-year-old boy?
No,
Put him in a chokehold?
no, it's the one where the little 10-year-old boy was so disrespectful to the teacher, calling her a dog, and I'm gonna play it. I'm gonna play the recording of it.
Where did this happen at?
In Jamaica.
Okay.
For those who have not heard it, I'm gonna play it, and I don't know if I should not. I'm not playing the video, but I'm playing the audio. Okay, of it. So here we go. I'm gonna touch the audio, and you tell me. Listen to this.
You must have manners. Yeah, manners more than you. Don't talk to me so loudly. Don't talk to me. Don't touch me. Don't come to me. I don't go to the dog. Come and out the dog shit. Don't touch me more than you. Be quiet. Be quiet. I hear more. Man, be quiet. I'm my mom. Don't talk to me. Be quiet. You're not the man. That's why no man no want you. Be quiet. Be quiet. In here. Right. You cannot like it. You take it out of me. Tell me I want no. Be quiet. Get up. Put your head down. No, that's it. That's it. No, Satan not like. Shut up. My mo. My mo. Shut up. Shut up in here. I can see the man that you're killing me now. You don't have no money. I thought we come in the middle of the car. Shut up in here. Shut up in here. Shut up. You don't have no money. Your manners more than you. No, be quiet. Be quiet. You don't have no manners. Me have manners. You don't listen to it. You don't listen to it. Me have manners. You don't listen to it. I got to chat it. I'm not listening to her when she said here. Can you calm down in my class? Yes, dog, in a G-string. Colin, can you calm down in my class? Yeah, dog. And don't let me put you outside. Careful. No, you don't come here. Because me can't hear no dog. I am. You know.
This is where they finally escorted the little boy out of the classroom. Now,
Why did they let that go on so long?
for so long, and that's my question too. And I need my listeners to call in 706-955-2001 on this one. Teachers. But the words that the teacher was using, I mean, not the words the teacher, the kid. He said such as, I may have more manners than you. No man no want you. Him say you stink like pit toilet.
That was bad when he said that. I was like, that was why I had to express it like.
And he was calling her dog. And this went on for about what was recorded
was 2 minutes 20 seconds of it that was recorded.
How old is this kid? 10?
Huh?
This is a 10-year-old.
They didn't really list the age of the child.
You could tell it's a young child by the sound of the voice.
The child is about 10. The child is about 10, 11. Can't be more than that. And the teacher is exchanging, going back and forth with him.
That's what didn't make any sense to me.
Give me your opinion on that, because then I want to give my opinion. What's your opinion on that?
I got a kind of a different opinion on that because, for one thing, I think everybody knows my mother was a teacher at the school that I went to. So I grew up under a tight rein, and I respect teachers still to this day and know that teachers are the reason that most of us can function today. So to me, a teacher is like an angel. You don't do nothing to a teacher. That's a cardinal sin. To hear this kid at that age saying this type of stuff, I'm sure the teacher was taken aback because the teacher had to say to herself, this is not something they're getting from us. So the alternate learning experience is really becoming a little bit too much here. And knowing that this kid probably comes from a home, I don't think this kid came from the street by himself. There's parents who speak this way, so the kid is picking up other adults. I got a problem with that. I also got a problem with the fact that the adults who raised this kid, they probably are not going to have to experience the type of public scrutiny that they should. I feel they should, because this is consequential. This kid doesn't think this is consequential. This is consequential. That was an assault and basic battery.
The verbal abuse that was given to the teacher.
It wasn't microaggressive. It was totally aggressive. He was talking to her like he was a grown man and he was having some kind of relationship with her.
Stink like pit toilet. And what he knows about shit, that's why no man know why. These sound like conversations he may be hearing others having and feeling like he can put that on the teacher. But then again, my question also go to the teacher. And some persons may say, Lady D, you might be a little irrational. But as a teacher, to be going back and forth with this kid.
A tenure with this little child.
For me, he already fresh with me, have more manners than him. I'm already bright and outside for that. But then when he says, no man no why you, and then he come calling her dog, he should have been put out of that class from jump. Greetings, let's cry. Greetings.
What's up? Let's grave.
That kid should have been put out of that classroom from jump.
You know what? Maybe not. Maybe what this kid was doing was expressing his frustration with his situation, and this was his only way to be able to get it out, because he can't get it out at home because they will box him till he was cardboard.
Yeah, but listen, you're in the classroom disrupting the class. You're making the other children giggle and think that this is something that is hilarious, funny.
It's not.
There's nothing about it that is funny nor hilarious. Mm-mm. But when they are, and you stood there for 2 minutes, listen, I don't mix my words. That kid would have been out of my class very, very quickly. Because
why not just make him come to the front of the class and sit there in the front of the class on a particular chair?
To do what?
And wait a minute, I'm about to get ugly now.
Go ahead.
Everything he said, they should have the rest of the class discuss it and ask him where did he get it from, why did he say it, and really have an expose of that student. Because I feel that by just sending them out of the class and maybe disciplining them by giving them a couple days out of school, that's not going to stop it. They need to confront it. If they confront it, that will probably change it because he doesn't want to be confronted. He's begging for confrontation, but he believes he won't get it. So I believe something that my mother did to me might be perfect for him. One time I said something bad to my English teacher. I said that my English teacher was a witch. I didn't call her the B word like he called the teacher. And my mother came to the classroom and embarrassed me in front of all the other classmates.
He
Okay,
did.
my mother was in the school. So what I'm saying is
Mhm.
he should be made an example of so that whenever anybody does something, they should immediately bring him. Hey, 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 come here, stand here. And when anybody does something, they should say, you're going to be like him every single time. Make him an example. And every time they do that, put their picture up in the hallway and put it so other people know that these are bad examples. You don't want to be like this. Make it a not wanted poster.
Teachers, I
Not
don't.
a wanted poster, a not wanted poster.
Teachers can't go that far. That's shaming.
I'm saying the administrator.
Administrator, teacher, that is shaming in
Do
school.
you think that doesn't happen? What was he doing? He was not trying to shame the
But,
teacher?
but that's the point, Acid. These children have more talk and more right than the educators and the people in the school system. You are afraid, you have to know how to talk to them, to discipline them. You know, it's not like back when we were going to school. And even the parent, for him to feel so confident that he can be so combative with the teacher,
Right.
what kind of example is this coming from? What
The
kind of
family.
example is this coming from? The whom is around him?
Why,
What
that's right. You
example?
just brought something really important. Not to cut you, but right. Why don't they bring the family in and have the family and the kids sit there in front of the whole school and explain why he did it? Why not? Confrontation is always good for the soul.
Okay, we do have a caller. Greetings, caller. How you doing?
Hey, good evening. Greetings, greetings.
Greetings.
Much respect and love to the Powerhouse Radio. You guys, reasoning is always, always absolutely a brilliant learning experience.
Thank
Thank you.
I got a bit like I kind of tuned in when I heard what sounded like someone kind of talking in the background, and I was like listening to the exchange, but I got more clarity based off of you guys' discussion of the situation. So, really, what I kind of gained from it as an educator, excuse me, first and foremost, I am a teacher. Almost, I'll be a decade this coming year, actually, 10 years of teaching.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
And I work with children that are technically diagnosed with a behavior disorder, or they're aggressive, or they're fighters. I'm a special education teacher, and I teach kids how to read, and communication and perspective are at the forefront of what I see this situation.
Yes. Yes, caller.
Now,
Yes.
it's absolutely out of any sense of respect and decency for a child to use those words, those connotations with that level of disrespect to an adult, period.
Mhm.
And, for me, that's where it began and that's where it ended. Because as an educator working with children, I have to constantly understand that they really won't ever completely understand what I'm trying to teach them and what I want them to understand. Experience is more the teacher. You get that guide with information. But I was raised with a lot of different parables, and one is who feels it knows it. So with that being, the forefront of my argument, I would believe that the quality of the education being received and presented are based on the relationships of the community. Because if the people, the parents are more involved in the process of education, it's not so black and white when it comes to things like policy, courtesy, respect, because, the commune of discipline has gone away. Like, if you dislike something in the way an adult said something back then, if you were upset, you go and tell your mom this person said this, and adults had a dialogue. However, the lack of respect or the lack of communication changes the opportunity of courtesy, respect. There's not any levels to it anymore. It's like, you respect me and I respect you, but you don't understand you're a child. You might know you're young, but to me, you're a child.
Right.
And whether that's fair or unfair, if you were speaking on the other end, because I do kind of understand a lot of kids' perspectives, and that's how you kind of reach them. But at the end of the day, the level of courtesy about the situation has lost its significance. The value of education has gone out the window. Once upon a time, knowing a fact was valuable. Now it's a waste of space in your mind because the answer's in your pocket. So the level of appreciation for knowledge and its communication, its back and forth, everything that could be gained through dialogue has lost a lot of significance when transferring information, because all people can talk about now is their experiences. There's not a lot of factually based opportunities to create a parallel for understanding of kids. I found maybe one way using the planets. When I was growing up, Pluto was a planet. Technically, right now, Pluto is not a planet. So if I took that test, I'd fail. But I want to explain.
Me too, caller.
That there's a very firm difference between truth and fact.
Listen,
So,
as being an educator, right? And I was just speaking to Acid because Mama Acid was saying things such as you would need to take the student, put their photo in the hall and say, do you want to be like this kid? Do you want to do, things like this kid? Don't be like this kid? Make him a mockery somewhat of the school. I was advising her that you can't do that in the school system. Is that so? Where you can use that person as an example?
Well, that's the thing. Again, as a teacher, one thing we do self-consciously is we actually don't fix the situation. We fix the circumstance that created that situation. Why you can't read? We got to go back to a place where you can learn. Any good, decent teacher does that at least. But, with that being the precedent, you got to consider their environment. 90, basically out of the womb, if you were born after 2012, your entire life is still already online. Like, since you were a kid, and especially in these adolescent years, there's social media and all of these things. the personal identity created is already there. Putting a picture up isn't going to change what's already happening. So, you know, with my mask, that I could try to find a way to channel the reality of the circumstance she's created, just because I know she's so brilliant, and I don't want no trouble.
Okay.
But
when a
you
child,
know, I think there's just a way to be under approach.
But that's why I said, why have the parents come and sit in the classroom with the child and explain why the child is doing that? Let the other parents come as well. Have a complete community meeting and let everybody talk about it and come up with a solution. Because
that
until we start having community pressure, this is going to continue to be a problem that
We
worsens.
have
and
free
that's
food,
definitely a good thing with
vans, and
parents.
incentives. Like if you wanted to roll those type of actions for the level of support needed to create that situation, again, it's not that we're trying to fix the situation. We're fixing the circumstance that created it. The fact that you can't get there because you're working whatever job, however, and everybody's life is different.
Yeah.
But
Hmm.
creating
Caller,
a
just 1 second. I want to hold you right there. You're working. Listen, if you got to take that time off to come to school because your kid done something, that kid is taking that money out of your pocket. That kid knows what they're doing. They also know they shouldn't be doing it. So if anyone is going to be held accountable, that parent needs to be held accountable for their child's actions. And until parents are held accountable, children will continue to be criminals in action from young ages. And I'm calling them criminals
agree,
because they choose to
but I'm
do
talking
these
about
things with
doing
intention.
One
something
at a
about
time.
that.
One at a time.
What are we going to do? Are we going to implement fines for parents and then a kid has to homeschool? Are we going to implement
Yeah,
what are
yeah,
we going to do
yeah,
about it?
yeah.
Because it's not
Homeschool,
enough.
homeschool. Because I'm gonna say this, and this is we've talked about this last year, and when we talked about it last year, we had an educator on who was a lady, and she owned a school, and she talked about children's responsibilities to education. And one of the things I never forget that she said was that a child comes to school to learn. They know that's what they're there for. They choose to do other things, and if we allow them to do it, they will. So that's why they require the parents to be involved in the child's schooling and education at that school. I don't remember the lady's name, but she was brilliant. And I have to tell you that that old time schooling is what I went through. I have a PhD. I'm not proud of that. I worked for it. Pretty hard and deep work. And my mother told me when I graduated with my bachelor's, oh, you got started. So let's just see how far you're going to continue to go because you are going to carry the mantle for the rest of us. And those of us who don't carry it for the rest of us are the ones who are letting everybody else go through. They're letting people go through.
I feel like to an extent, yes, but carrying the mantle as a personal example, I think, you know, it dwarfs your mother's idea of what she already knew you could accomplish and would accomplish with more. And it's more like, again, the same thing I keep saying. It's not the situation that's occurring because it's like, hey, yeah, they have this free education, all this, they should homeschool, they should do this. How? Like that's where our brilliance needs to be added and our emotional fortitude to the how. If we're going to start passing legislation that's more clear, hey,
We got legislation.
this school district, why not every address attached based off of how many suspensions, detentions? That's an increase on your taxes for education that year.
No, not even. No, you know what? Here we are going to deal with something that deals with economics, and I'm glad you brought it to us.
Well, I was just giving an idea. I'm just talking about a way.
I want to give you your answer because I got that answer. That answer is one we have previously discussed, and I am quite proud to say Lady D demanded that I find the answer to it, and I'm grateful to her because I hadn't done that research. And that is what is replacing corporal punishment in the school system. Corporal punishment in the school system
Oh,
is
yeah.
being replaced by the prison pipeline. And until these kids understand that doing this will get them into that pipeline, they're going to continue to push that limit. So when they're brilliant like this, they have to be challenged in a different way. That challenge is
But
something that every teacher should not be
they're
faced
not
with.
smarter.
Teachers shouldn't be called dogs. No,
One
you're not a dog.
oh, yeah. And well, that's what this
However, but I feel like adults, we create the world that children live in. And again, as a teacher, whether I'm trying to teach you all of the things you want as a parent,
and that's
experience, excuse me,
and that's the problem. The parents are not running the world. These children are running the world. They're telling you what they want, how fast they want it, when they want it, and when they don't get it in that order,
What
it's
they will do to you.
very disruptive, disrespectful, and a lot of parents are being friends versus being parents and putting down their foot and saying, enough is enough. I said, no, you can't get it. It's just like that, you know? And they have to stop thinking about being
They got to stop using the schools for babysitter service first.
got to stop.
We skipped that, and
But,
I got to go there because I'm very hot about
what
that,
I was,
and now I'm gonna calm down.
okay, but what I was basing this video off is yeah, we know children can be very disrespectful, disruptive, and so on. But how long are the educators supposed to sit in the room and tolerate the verbal abuse?
Assault. That was an assault. That was an abuse. That was an assault.
You know,
He talked about this woman beneath her clothes. He's a child.
if we're going to place the blame, which it absolutely lies with the parents for that interaction, we need to implement a system that penalizes the parent.
That's why we need the parents to come to the school to answer for why their child behaves this way, because they sent the child there. I don't care if you got to miss a day at work. Your child didn't care. You should care. You
and
should be able to deal with your child at home so that you don't have to miss a day.
how many of these parents are going to really show up?
If they don't show up, their kid don't come back to school. And then guess what? If the kids don't come back to school, they got truancy laws where they lock parents up now. I've seen it. They do it in several states now. And I think that's something we need to understand, is that these parents have a responsibility. And the responsibility is, if you're not homeschooling your kid, you are sending your kid out to school with the expectation of them coming back with education. And when your child comes back with a letter saying that they were disruptive, what do you do as a parent if you are terrified that your child is going to call the police because you corrected them? See, we got to get the police out of our parental relationships in the wrong
The
places.
system is giving children too much authority, you know, and I don't like the way the whole authority things with the kids, which I'm straying from the school matter a little bit. Conrad says stop being a gratitude parent, but these kids, they are running everything. There's so much barriers for parents to discipline, for teachers to discipline, for anyone to discipline children, and the children know it. You know, we would bite our tongue before we go on and tell our parents, yeah, I'm gonna call the police on you. Now it's a norm. The kids will pick up the phone, and some of them have these cell phones that we're giving them when they're 5 years old, real cell phones to dial on, to call out, and they're having the access to call police, call people on you
Militarize your home
is a
at your cost.
is a dangerous thing. I
You
mean,
call you paying to militarize your home?
this kid is fresh. This kid told his teacher, "No man, no want you," calling the teacher a dog, and what just like stink like pit toilet.
What does he know about these things? Where did he hear these
Just,
things
I
if
just
not
want
from
to know what
adults?
would be the
Which is
difference.
why I say the adults need to be held responsible for this behavior.
And I
This is
wonder,
not child behavior.
and I really wonder in
I
Jamaica
can
if
tell you,
there's any sort of repercussion and any sort of punishment for this really with
I
this
was
kid.
under the impression you could still be in
No,
Jamaica, but
you can't
what
be
No,
I
you can no corporal punishment.
if
Not
it,
allowed.
you can't beat kids in Jamaica
okay, but
No,
anymore.
what
no, no.
the thing I absolutely do in my class, because I work with predominantly black kids.
Mm.
Um, the thing I do before I introduce write-ups or paperwork or things that I feel like follow them because they're emotionally all over the place, puberty and all those things. I call their parents at that time, in that moment, and ask them to say what they said around me to their parents.
That's excellent.
In that
Yeah.
moment, I rather than go around, I'm going to give you the opportunity to parent, and then I can understand exactly what's going to happen.
That's very smart.
Because
I applaud you.
go for it.
No, and to
They
stand there
freak
for
out.
2 minutes arguing with this kid and having this kid blatantly disrespect you. I take my hat off to you teachers, all of you educators. I take my hat off to you because I would already drop that kid. You know, I would have dropped that kid. She all covered the kid's
I've been
mouth.
called several things. I'm sure that many teachers
Man,
in
I dropped that picture a long
inner
time.
cities have probably experienced similar things.
Long-
But at the end of the day, what you have to do is realize that none of these kids are better than each other, and they're children, and they're coming to you to try to learn. And there is a curriculum, but if you're a good teacher, or just a decent teacher, but mostly a good parent, you can maybe identify certain things that the child really needs to learn. And it goes just above books and common knowledge. Sometimes you really got to teach a kid, hygiene, or how to manage their feelings or whatever.
yeah.
And you got to identify that, and you work with what you can and let God deal with the rest.
Okay.
You're right, because the community can't deal with it. And right now, since we're talking about this thing happening in Jamaica, I want to remind people that Jamaica does have an authority that handles children and children's abuse, and this type of behavior is addressed through an organization in the government that specifically deals with this type of a problem. But just like we keep saying, do we want kids in the prison pipeline? The public school to prison pipeline is too active right now, and trying to keep kids out of it is a really big thing. So that's why I say, caller, you're a miracle worker. I really appreciate you. Thank you so much
Appreciate
for the
you.
wisdom,
Thank
because your wisdom is invaluable.
Thank you so much. Yeah,
I
we're
thank
gonna
you too, Dad.
we
Thank
have
you so
to
much for having me.
we have to take
Thank
the
you.
show to talk about kids in school and a lot of things, including recess in school. There's one of the um states
It's a new
that
bill.
has
It
made
just
it.
passed. Next year, all Georgia schools, the kids have to have a recess.
Yeah, I think there's a new law that just passed on that. That's so we're gonna talk about that maybe next week. We could drop that into
Well, let's just talk about two other things that the caller probably doesn't have to deal with right now. And one of them is that we're having problems
I
in
am listening. If you guys
Be blessed.
definitely I'm sure you will continue to curb my interest. I will give a call back. I'm thankful for the
Please do.
opportunity
Thank you so
to
much.
learn and grow and give some insight from a personal and professional perspective.
Okay.
Yes,
Well,
thank you.
thank you. Thank you for taking
These kids coming to school bringing margaritas and bringing edibles to school. We had a 5-year-old who split an edible with another 5-year-old during kindergarten. Then last week we had two 10-year-olds who had some Jose Cuervo drinks. We're not advertising, we just telling you what they had. And they brought this to school for snack time to share with their classmates.
because
Now,
we don't know any
how is this possible that parents are allowing kids to get access to their edibles? Your edibles? You bring in
allowing kids to get their firearms.
that one too.
No
Go to
one,
that one too.
no one in the homes are being responsible. Everyone is just lax and just living life and doing what they want to do. But they are not taking responsibility in the a lot of parents are not taking responsibility in your home. If you're going to carry something deadly, smoke something that can harm a kid, put it up. When in my home, if any lighters, any matches, anything is around, I tell them, get that up, put that up, lock it away, put it away. Firearms the same. You leave those things when you come in, don't put it on your desk or your table and just walk away. If you're gonna have such deadly weapons, you put them you as you walk through the door, you lock it up. You
Gotta
lock
have a gun lock.
your car. There's a way to store firearm in your car. If you put it in your glove compartment, use a lock.
That's illegal. You got to put it in your trunk.
You see, there's lock. Even so, there's a lock. Lock,
Trigger lock.
because
They free.
everyone's not gonna go towards going to be lawfully correct all the time.
But
So
they're free. You don't even have to show the gun. You could just go to any police precinct and say, "Can I please have a trigger lock?" They'll give it to you. They don't ask you for the gun.
okay,
They
well,
just
that's
give
good.
you the lock.
That's good. But we need to talk. We're gonna get a little bit into the schools and children and what's going on with our children in this society. Um, there was
You know what? There was one other thing about kids about that 10-year-old who was it's a 10-year-old and a 17-year-old that I can't get off my mind right now.
yeah, we're gonna get deeper with the kids next week. I just wanted to touch the behavior part of it, and was there a way that it could have been stopped? I think there was something you said you wanted to talk about, and then I wanted to briefly touch Roe versus Wade, and then we're gonna get into entertainment.
What about the economy? We really need to talk about that.
Yeah, go ahead.
So, this kid, this kind of blows my mind.
No, you gonna the economy or the kid you talking about?
Oh, this kid, and then I'm gonna go to the economy. The kid was 10 years old, and a full grown, full size police officer kneed the kid's chest. They knocked the kid down. He leaned and put his knees on the kid's chest and then started choking the kid, leaning on the kid's neck while the kid was on the ground. Police officer weighs, they estimated, 3 times as much as the child he was laying on. And other adults were present when this happened, and they did not pull him off of the child.
They're not going to do that. If that's the case, they could have done that with even, yeah, Joy Floyd is an adult, but they could have done that there. You can't put your hands on the police officer. For them to say that you're assaulting,
He was a school resource officer,
he's
and they said that they had a requirement that they not put their hands on these children, and he just totally just went beyond the law. He knew the law, but he chose to abuse his kid because he felt the kid was disrespectful to him. And he said that the kid said something.
and this is where parents have to take the lead and file charges and things like that, but you still cannot put your hands on a
But your child's mouth still caused it. So how do you get out the middle of that?
there's no getting out of the middle. You if it's the laws that you should not put your hand on these children, then you don't put your hands on these children. So parents, go ahead and file whatever charges that they need to charge. But at
Oh, they lawsuiting up right now.
the time when the situation is taking place, there's no way that these parents can put their hands on a resource officer because he's operating himself as a police officer, a safety officer. So therefore, if he find that this is aggression that he needs to control or subdue this individual, then this is what he chose, and then he has to face the consequences of it. These kids are rude. Their parents, as I love the fact that if if you commit something in school and you get suspended, and your parent has to come back to school with you.
Right.
I know that that's something that we used to do back in our time. My mother, when I got myself in trouble in school, my mother didn't have to come to the school.
No, you didn't. Wait, wait, wait. I got to lean in. You,
No, yeah. I mean, so
hey, the
we had,
bishop daughter?
we had to
That's scary to me.
that's kind of why everybody always come with this bishop daughter business. So we know
Because that's some big, big, big thing, man. You was a preacher's kid. I was a preacher's kid too. But you was the bishop daughter. That's way up above some little preacher people.
we can
That's
still
some serious business.
that's not because you're still a person. You're still a person. And
But y'all are a bigger example for the rest of us.
no, I'm not. We're not example. Um, we not an example.
You look, you turned out to be a pretty good example. So for those who don't know, I want to say this.
I-
My friend is a great example because she knows what's right and wrong, and she will tell you whether she like it or not, because she stops me a lot, just like she stopped me a minute ago and say you can't do that to kids. Even though I feel like, hey, put the kid's picture up.
Let's move. Um,
Economy.
it-
Recession.
I want to ask our artists out there some questions um in regards to our entertainment, because I have questions and you have questions that we want to pose to some of the artists out here. And I watched the video, and there was a man on it that talked about something. So to the economy, and then we're gonna get to entertainment because it's 9:09. We're just going up to 9:30 today, and get up on out of the ear chair because we started late.
We
We're
did.
over today. Go ahead.
Yeah, because
We were
I'm
waiting.
sorry, I was tied up. I had to get here. I was rushing.
Then our guests, they haven't called in or logged in. I don't know if they got a wrong thing with the time, but we're still hoping that.
People used to us being on till 10 o'clock. We say we go off at 9, we always be on till 10.
So we'll wait and see if they
The
do
show is hot. We can't help it.
or anything with us. Okay.
So,
Mama,
okay,
I want you.
what I really wanna feel from these artists is how would they handle in terms of their entertainment and their perspective towards delivering entertainment in a cultural way that will help some of these parents and these kids to better relate to the situation that we're all dealing with right now. Like, are they
So we
are
are
they
going.
giving community
So we are
support?
going. We jumping straight into entertainment. Or are we
Well,
going into
well, I mean, if we could do, we can do that, and then we can get economics at the end. Because all I'm gonna say is we in a recession.
Okay. All right. All right. So we're gonna go right into entertainment. Well,
Yeah.
economics in a recession. I had someone text me and say, "What is a recession? What is a recession?"
Okay, a definition or the working definition?
Doing show. Huh?
The definition or the working definition?
Working definition.
The working definition of a recession is where you do everything you can to forestall failure, but nothing you do will stop it because there are catastrophic situations and actions occurring that you have no control over, which are cascading all of the events at once.
Okay.
So a
Okay.
recession is where you move backwards. That's what recession means, to
Okay.
move
Did you hear
backwards.
that? Did you all hear what recession is? Okay. Moving backwards. So
So
move
America's
backwards.
financially moving backwards. We can see it now. There's no raise in wages, but there's cost hikes everywhere. Not just gas and food, but now we can't find baby formula. We also can't find distilled water for a lot of the medical devices that people need distilled water for. So we would like to do a public service announcement right here and say, if you do not need distilled water for a medical device, please don't buy distilled water to drink, because it is not for drinking. Distilled water is not for drinking. Please don't drink distilled water. It offers you no mineral quality. And people that think they don't need minerals in their water are the people who end up having gout and a lot of other types of issues, because the minerals in your water actually help to heal your body.
Yeah.
So, recession, right now, water is at a premium. People that buy bottles of water in the single bottles, they're causing more of a problem. So if we could get everybody to switch from single bottles to gallons, or 2.5 gallons,
Yeah.
or 5 gallons, it would be better, because then you can actually go to a spring and fill it yourself. And springs are free. They're all over the country. There's maps in every state of where you can go to a spring. There's one 10 miles outside of, in fact, there's a couple. Powder Springs, which most people don't realize is actually a spring, off of Powder Springs Road, is an open public spring. It has a spigot. You can go over there with your 5 gallon jugs, fill up as much as you want. Me and my sister used to do it all the time. There's other things, other places, like on Cascade, there's a spring. Many people don't realize there's a spring on Cascade. There's a spring, actually, I'm going to tell people something that they're not going to want to hear. There's a spring on Bankhead. Yeah, there's a spring on Bankhead. For people over on that side, on the west,
What happened
there's
to
a
just
spring.
what happened to just boiling water?
Boiling water removes the minerals from it, and that actually starts the distillation process. So that's removing the minerals, and through steam distillation, you actually remove all the minerals from the water, and you make it soft, so that when you're removing the minerals make the water hard. When you remove the minerals, you make it easier for your devices to use it. Like, you can put it in your coffee maker, you can put it in your steam iron, you can put it in your vaporizer, your humidifier. You can even use it, like if you have to have one of those breathing treatments, you can use the water in there, but it has to be distilled, because if it's not, it's going to create a mineral buildup. So anytime you put water into a device that has to heat it, that should be distilled water, because if it's not, eventually that device is going to fail because of all the
Oh,
minerals that are
that's
trapped
that's,
in there.
that's really interesting information right there. We weren't even coming up with that, and it just came in. So that's good information
Hey,
right
that's why when you use your
there.
steam iron and you push the button and you left water in there and you get rust coming out,
Yeah,
that's why.
that's why. So that's great.
Don't never do that. Don't never leave water in an iron.
That now that right there is great um information. But let me check. Please try. I've gotten about four different texts that they're getting a busy signal. Try calling back in one more time. Um, all the callers is calling. Queen call.
Oh, we too high again. The lines is on fire. They
Uh,
can't get through because we done talked about me beating the children by putting their picture up in the hall. Lord Jesus, I got the police blocking the
but,
lines
but
now.
let's go into
Do we want to talk about the economy for real?
no, we're gonna go.
Because all this missing baby formula is not a mistake. And we need to talk about that. We ain't talked about it, but I'm really worried now. I'm starting to have a little second thoughts about it, because there's something going on with that. And I did talk to someone who gave me some ideas about it.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. 706-955-2001 is the number. You can get it on the screen right there as well for those who is viewing us via YouTube and Facebook. And someone I guess looked on Facebook and didn't see their comment that they made on YouTube. YouTube comments are on YouTube. Facebook comments are on Facebook. So if you're watching us through Facebook, and at the end of the program and you're re-watching back the um the program and you look into the comments, you're only going to see whomever commented through Facebook. Okay. Now, the way you would know all who commented is we'll put it up on the screen and you would see if they're
Because you read it.
Facebook or through YouTube. Okay. So that's I got that question as well in the email, as why they're not seeing their messages, what they put. So that is why. Okay. So if you're commenting through YouTube, your comments will be on YouTube. If you're watching us through Facebook, it will be on Facebook. And our Skype as well. If you're watching or commenting through Skype, is going to be on Skype. Okay. So we just want to let our listeners know that as well. So when you don't see it, that's what's happening. Okay. We just want to encourage each and everyone once again to go over to our YouTube channel, like, subscribe, press the notification button, and share. When you're listening on Facebook and you're listening on YouTube, please press the like button for us there.
And subscribe.
And subscribe. We're trying to get our numbers up there.
Share, please. Share. Yeah. We need to get 10,000. We need 10,000 subscribers. We need to get monetized, and we need your help to do it. So don't be shy. Hit that button. Call everybody. Look, Lady D's word is call your family, call your friend, call your frenemy.
Friend of your family member.
Call every one of them. Tell them church members, deacon, the lady next door, everybody.
Let's get into entertainment. I want to say big ups once also to all of our sponsors. One by One Kia, Hinkson Law Firm, Unique Total Care,
Recycle Frockery on Etsy.
Mystique Entertainment, with a new printing. The printing.
Yeah, who's our printer?
Teaching you.
Okay, Recycle Frockery is now going to be printing all of the merchandise that we'll soon be featuring here on, listen, GA Powerhouse got some merch, y'all. We just ain't put it out yet. And when we start flashing it, I got news for y'all. Lady D having a fashion show.
I don't know. Listen, stop mix and blend me. I don't know.
She having it in several different countries. We heard she flying from private jet, different countries, different rich guys flying around in the Caribbean, and she got to have all of the lingerie sent to different places, and the lounge wear. The lounge wear is separate from the lingerie. And listen, I heard she even got some shoes being sent different places.
Let's stop setting me up. Listen, 706-955. 2001 706-955-2001 is the number. I know a lot of you been waiting for this entertainment. We waiting for our guests. I think our guests get cold feet. I said you always again.
I think they scared.
I said you be asking some questions that you make them. You be chasing away our guests.
I'm scared that they not gonna answer the right questions, and we need people to know that these questions are being answered. We have to sometimes buckle down a little harder, and we love all our guests. We just feel sometimes that maybe we not asking the hard questions, and so I have to ask the hard questions.
Last week they get brought up. Then come back this week to get brought up again.
I think Don is through with me because I'll probably never get to hear Next Door Neighbor again.
Oh my God! Big up yourself, Don Minor. Big up yourself, Mackie. Big up
yes,
Oliver Samuels, engineer Oliver Samuels. Big ups to you.
Hey, Ivan Linton from Arrows, who is going to come on with us a couple weeks from now. We're waiting for that.
Yeah, we
And the fish man. We finally got in contact with the fish man. Y'all, we got the fish man.
they're scared of acid. I know me. This not me. They're scared of listeners. This is acid. They're afraid. Let me start. Let me start. Okay, acid. Your thought. Do you think that politics should be mixed with music?
Yes.
Oh, why?
Because politicians always like to get involved in things that are lively and they want to be part of the culture. So if they want to be a part of the culture, then why not bring them in and make them a part of the culture with a responsibility, which would mean that they would have to not just provide for the community and for the community of artists, but also ensure that we have good entertainment values, that we know when people go on stage that they're not going to get bottles thrown at them, that we know that when they come off stage they're not going to be afraid that somebody's going to shoot them or shoot their family members because they just got some disagreement. I remember when, I'm going to say it, Bob, Siaga, and Manley were on stage with Claudia and Bucky back in the old days at the One Love concert. Can we see some days like that again? They don't want to answer?
No, I'm not answering. It's not coming through. So I'm here. Want to see what I can do right here.
I think one of the other things is that many people don't realize that we're still keeping our fingers on the pulse of what's going on with the Klansman trial in Jamaica. Lady D is not watching it, but I am.
But before
And
we get into Klansman trial, we still need to.
And we're not even supposed to be talking about that, are we?
No, we're not. Not yet.
Okay, I'll be quiet.
It's all said and done. Then we're gonna get on that reasoning. But
Okay.
I'm not sure what happened. Why? I didn't get that. Missed about two.
Call back, please.
Yeah. But why you said that they should mix politics with entertainment? Entertainers should entertainers, or maybe I rephrased the question. I phrased the question maybe a little.
No, you're right, because I said that why can't we have it like in the old days when they had the One Love concert and we had Bucky and Claudia up there with Bob, with Siaga and Manley, all of them standing there at the same time, all five of them. That One Love concert was monumental for Jamaica, and it actually brought peace between the factions for a period of time to allow the election to happen. Many people weren't around during that time to document it because they were trying to stay out of the way of the bullets. But we were in Jamaica during the election. We went to Jamaica during the election, which was not something that we advise anybody to ever do. And it was very, very tenuous. And the reason we say that they need to get music involved in politics again is because, just like Bob said, never make a politician owe you a favor. Because once they owe you a favor, you forever hung out on the clothesline. And that's what we're going through right now. So if some of these artists really want to be involved in politics and they want to match up with these parties, maybe what they could do is start asking these parties some hard questions. Like, instead of saying vote red or blue or green or orange, say, what about the people who support the children in education? What about the people who support making sure that there's a livable wage? What about asking questions about what's going on with the agricultural products that are not being produced anymore? Why do we have to have pineapple brought in from another island when Jamaica has the best, sweetest pineapples in the world?
Well, that's always a question. I don't understand I don't even understand the import situation with certain types of fruits, produce, things such as. I don't really understand. I think I might have fixed where it was ringing, but yeah, caller, you're live on the
Yes.
air. You got to turn down
Hello.
your radio in the background. Yes,
Hello.
yes, caller, we can hear you.
Yes. Mama Acid, I've been listening to y'all. I try to get through about 4 different times and was unable to.
I'm
But
sorry.
anyway, Mama Acid, I don't
Hey, caller.
agree with you. And the reason why I don't agree with you is
On what? On what particularly you don't agree with?
I'm sorry. On the government getting involved, the Jamaican government getting involved in music.
Okay.
Politics. I said politicians. I didn't say which government. I said politicians.
Okay.
I'm not saying government. I'm saying politicians.
No, what I'm saying
Politicians.
is, yeah,
Well,
should the
the
artist
politicians are the one who makes up the government. But
Not in every case.
really, what I'm saying is,
let her finish? Go ahead, go ahead,
I
caller.
can't hear you guys.
Go ahead, caller. Could you hear us?
Okay. Yeah, now I am.
Okay.
I can't hear Mama Acid. But anyway, what I'm saying is that the Jamaican politicians, most of them now, they're not respected in Jamaica. At the time, there were a certain set of people that were on Manly's side, and there was another set that was on Seago's side. So there was no in between. It was either. So it was easier for them to come together to come to the peace solution. But now there's so much going on in Jamaica. I watch the news, Jamaican news every day, and sometimes 3 times for the day. And I'm telling you, there is so much innuendo that is going on in Jamaica, and the people do not trust these politicians anymore like they did years ago.
We don't either.
So now, especially the so-called bad men out there, they do not respect them. I hear them talk about them on YouTube all the time about these politicians. So therefore, I don't think the trust is strong enough for us to have any type of peace solution through the government.
Right, and I think okay, go ahead.
I agree in a sense where music might be important for the politicians to get involved because they control everything really in Jamaica, the politicians. They control Jamaica. So therefore, I think music would have a better outlet to get out there in the atmosphere more than now. So
it sounds like you agree with me then, because that's what I said.
And I think that the question was even taken a little differently. Because you all brought back politicians being involved in music. The question wasn't if politicians.
No.
The question was if artists should mix with politics. Because artists are so
in their music.
They're mixed with politics, period. Carrying it out there, promoting I'm a PNP or I'm a JLP.
I don't like that.
Should artists, because artists are very influential, especially the ones that are the hot commodities at that time, and they're at whatever time, and they're choosing a particular party, and then for me, they're not into a particular party based off of necessarily the knowledge of what that particular party brings. They are with these parties based off of loyalty and tradition being passed down from generation to generation. It's not something where they
favoritism,
and they really searched out these individuals and see what they're all about. So, and when they're just going off of, once again, loyalty to ancestors, to generational voting habits, things like that. So Donna Moody says artists should stick to what they know. Sing it. Leave you got it right there, Donna. Stick to what they know, and it's music.
Mm-hmm.
And
No, but artists can learn too now.
yeah, for the ones whom are really, really, I would say the ones whom are really, really researching whom they are voting for, and it's some the conviction is from what they've learned about that particular politician, minister, whatever we want to call them, and not because of loyalty. Then maybe they could truthfully represent and go out there and say to the masses, this is whom I'm voting for because they're this, they do this, they do that, they have bought for this. Yes, I could see whatever ills that they made, but they still do this. They do this better than this. This is why I wouldn't vote for this, but I would vote for this because of what they do and not because of loyalty. And I find that a lot of the artists whom are speaking out in regards to um, political parties are speaking out in regards to these political parties based off of loyalty to a particular party and not
Favoritism.
knowledge of what each particular party is really, really doing for the communities. Start speaking out that only JLP may get their roads fixed when JLP is in power. Start speaking out and saying it's not right that when PNP is in party, only their roads get fixed. I mean, let's start voting for parties that
Listen, y'all,
are
she's
there
speaking.
and do what they are to really do. We want a party for all people,
She telling y'all.
not just that when if the JLP is in there, they're working not just for JLP, but they're also working for PNP,
Everybody.
vice versa. And even the new party, I don't know if they're still existing
Independence.
because they were having their little issues of forming a coup and taking over that political party. I forgot what their name is, but but that's what I would like to see if artists are going to in politics, be in politics
But
for knowledge and not for loyalty.
but you see, most artists now they don't even want to be involved with the politicians. They don't even want to associate their name being associated with certain politicians because of the what's going on out there and them being in the public eyes, you know. And again, the little local politicians, they mean nothing in Jamaica. You have to be up there in the ranks in order to can change things or to make things good or bad. And most of these artists, like I said, they do not agree with the politicians that are in power now in Jamaica. I listen to some of the blogs that I see on YouTube with them speaking out and what have you, and a lot of them, they're bashing. They are bashing the president. They're bashing the secretary. They're bashing even the doggone Congress. You know what I mean? They're bashing the whole system, you know, and I haven't seen where there is a musician who actually agrees with what the politicians are doing in Jamaica now. So I don't think they can really, it can make a difference if they're joining with them or not. I think, like Don says, the musicians should say to themselves, unless they're going to create what we talked about a while back, that committee to monitor the music in Jamaica and who
And
gets
that's
a cut out of it or not. You know, that's the only thing I can see where they would be involved. But right now, I don't think they should be involved with them.
Hey, caller, before you go, I want to ask you a question. Were you listening at the beginning of the show when Lady D played the tape of the little 10-year-old or however old the child is who was talking to the teacher in Jamaica?
I saw it on Facebook.
Okay, so let me ask you this because I haven't seen it. I just listened to it when she played it. That was my
Yeah.
first preview. And if I didn't speak Pato, I wouldn't know what was going on because I'm telling you, what I was listening to what he was saying. I was thinking to myself,
Mhm.
as a big woman, I would never talk to another woman that way if I didn't have a gun in my hand or machete. Because them fighting words, okay? So do you feel, caller, that maybe musicians might be able to reach out to some of these kids and other people who like these types of rudeness and maybe help rein them into a little bit more reasonable actions by saying, don't go to school and cuss out your teacher. Go to school to learn every day.
Okay. Listen, it comes
There,
back to
there are
what
conscious musicians who are doing this right now, including Brother Don, and Mac. They're putting that out there, and about respect and all of that. But it's not, they're not the only musician I hear bringing
No,
out
no, I,
positive.
caller, I'm talking about like for
no,
kids. I'm
I'm
talking about kids music.
um,
Jamaica doesn't have a kids music segment for reggae, but they got one in America, and I don't understand why there isn't one in Jamaica because we have so many kids. We need to have a kids music segment in reggae for education so that these kids can actually learn because Miss Lou was the last thing that we had and we need that back. If we had that, we would have a whole lot better people because honestly, I'm gonna say it. I grew up playing ring ding and I know better than some of the things some of these kids are saying. I
let's
wouldn't say it as a big woman.
let's go direct at it, right? What exactly is a lot of the artists doing when they see things such as this that is taking place?
Man, she
What
went right there. I love it.
what are they really doing? Such as what you mentioned right there, Mama Acid. You mentioned that um if the artist, something to that effect, that if the artist can reach out to these kids, a kid like this, can these artists reach go to the schools? Are some of these positive artists, let's say, different? Because I see Body Cat did it 1 and 2, but I don't necessarily think the over of it was but can some of these cultural artists are more, if not say cultural, positive um artists, are they going into these schools and
Since
talking?
they say it ain't no music.
Are they going into the communities? Because a lot of these things that I'm seeing on Facebook, let's say they have activity day, teachers are out there and they're doing the new fling and the new bird and the new, all of these things I'm seeing them doing on
Right.
they doing all of these things I'm seeing them doing on the social medias, but I don't hear them singing or get, correct me, I don't mind being corrected, I don't really see them singing cultural music to the kids, having them sit down singing a couple of Bob songs or
Right. What's wrong with that? They
some
could do that.
Mackie conscious.
Three little birds.
Are these artists being invited? Because once again, we're all a community, especially when it comes inside of the entertainment fraternity. We all have to work together because according to last week and the week before, Don was saying, and I think it, or Mackie, one of them was saying that they don't feel that government, as well as caller Queen is saying, they don't think that government should really be entwined in the entertainment fraternity. So within the entertainment fraternities, are there individuals that are reaching out to these schools, to these different establishments, business places, and offering their services maybe free for a little bit, get their music out there, get themselves recognize
whole new audience.
and see if we can bring forth um a better community. We do have guest Oliver Samuels joined us right here. Big up yourself, Mr. Samuels.
Sorry it takes so long to get to you.
We
It's
say
all right. You're here. We love you.
we say you're scared.
I try to say you love me. Watch that.
Look here, Oliver. We got one thing to say to you.
We say afraid, you're afraid.
Welcome.
Welcome to you.
We say afraid, you're afraid. Go.
I was so in touch with your subject from last week.
Yes.
And the week before.
Yes.
And it was real interesting. And it really touched a lot of nerves because, you know, I've been in the music business for almost, say, 40 years. And it has changed a lot. And, you know, right now, what you are doing, it's a good thing that you're doing because a lot of the reggae artists, they need to learn the business, the music business, and understand it so they can understand what they're doing. Because you see, I used to be in a group back in the 80s, which was Silver Platinum, and we were Fantasy before. We toured the world. And we went into stadiums where there was like 70,000 people. And in my mind, I'm saying, how in the world they get all these people in here? And, you know, when you look at a reggae artist, some of the biggest ones like Bob Marley, Barry Simon, Shaggy, and Sean Paul, those are the ones that really see were full of stadium. And there is no education in the reggae business as far as letting the artists, like in the American market, like when you went to Motown, they groom you, they mold you.
Classes.
Right, and let you understand the business. In reggae, we don't have that. And that's why a lot of these things, you have one major company, which is VP. VP is not a record label.
No, they're very big pirates.
They are pirates, and because, you know, they hold me a lot of money.
They're the Pirates of the Caribbean. Let's call them what they are.
It's alleged.
That's what they are.
They ain't no alleged. He just told you they owe him. I can tell you what they owe me from what they stole from my stock. So it ain't no alleged. I'm here to give the facts.
I remember even, you know, what VP would do. He would tell you to go to the studio, make your music, and bring it to him, and he give $500. That's it.
We said that last week too.
You're gonna make your money off of the shows, then what you do. But so the artists, them now, if you notice, when you get a lot of reggae artists,
and don't forget, you don't own the masters. You don't own nothing.
You pay them $500 to take it, put in your pocket, you go buy 2 beers, finish, and then you wonder where's the rest of the money, and you hear your song all over the place.
And then they want you to go out and promote it.
Yes. Then you look at this. All the reggae artists, the only way they can survive, most of them, is to make dub plates. And you see, if you watch the American artists, they don't make dub plates. Because if they do, their contract is void. And this is what we have to get within, at least, okay, I hear you said something last week. The same lady, Babsy Gray.
Yeah.
I don't know why she says she's in the music business. She should sit down and close the door and nobody sees.
I want to hug you. I want to put my arms around you right now.
She know nothing about the business. It's all politics.
Yes, she does. She does know something about the business.
Well, that's why we say politics is to not be mixed. Well, art.
She knows how to drain off the money and how to siphon it and how to use the artists in order to get bad things, not to help the country.
Right. Because the thing is, reggae music is one of the biggest music around the world. Because if you think about it, you look in Spanish countries and you see the reggae artists. You go to Brazil, the stadium is full. You go to Germany, it's full. You go to Japan,
Italy,
it's full.
Poland,
You know, it's
anywhere.
crazy. You come to America, you go to Africa. Oh my gosh, hip hop doesn't go through Africa like reggae.
Yeah.
And they're not making any money. And you see, a lot of times you see the reggae artists, when you say, oh, they can't come back to America to perform, nobody say why. Because when they come here, nobody let them know that you got to pay taxes here. When you perform, you got to pay your taxes. So they keep coming in and sliding out. Then the U.S. government gets slick with them and start to, you got to pay your tax. That's why they hold their visa and they can't come. Because their manager or their agent don't educate them to the business. Look at the artists from England. When they come, they'll tour and they come back because they understand the business. You pay your dues. You got to pay. You can't just come in and make the money and you leave and say, I'm just coming to see my friend and you're over here doing a show. That's bad business. These things got to.
Right there, where you just went. Can we go down the street? You come in on a visa for one show, but instead the promoter booking you all over the country. You doing 20 shows all over the place.
Right.
Who is actually responsible for the bond? Who is responsible for all of the backside fees? Because the artist doesn't know. The artist isn't the one booking all these shows and not getting paid. The artists are not even getting paid. The artists are just being used. They are pimping reggae. I am sick of it.
To stop.
Please talk about it.
They need to stop because you see, I think we need like this show right here. I'm telling you, it's the best. I'm trying to put it into a way, but this here is the most attention towards the reggae music I've heard online for a long time. Because when I said you guys make a dent into the subject, you really did. And a lot of people calling me and says, who are these people? I says, don't worry, you need to educate yourself. They're telling you what's going on. And we need to, and like you said, if we can form a unified organization to help these musicians, because you find a lot of these reggae artists right now, I mean, like some of the guys from Studio One, I know them personally. You know, even the drummer, the original drummer, Joe Isaac, broke, don't have a dime.
Nothing.
And look how much hits you get on the Studio One. They never put the artist name on the album. They just say Studio One.
Yeah.
So they don't get paid. That's the slickness where they come in to take all the profit they make.
Before you go down that road, let me throw another name in there so we can really get to see who paved that plan. The Pottingers. Everybody loves Sonia Pottinger. People get mad when you mention their name and you don't talk about how much they did for reggae. They didn't do anything for reggae. All they did was create a system to market it and take all the money away from the artists because they used Siaga's plan to do it. And Siaga set it in motion and is still running today. Am I wrong? Am I wrong,
No,
Oliver?
No, you're right. You're right. But see, a lot of people don't educate themselves to the music, so they don't know. I learned a lot about, because, you know, my father, I mean, back in the days, he used to be in the like of, they have their sound system that they go out and play, and they set up, you know, sound system, and they have Coney Island and all this stuff, and they would play the music. And a lot of the artists then didn't understand. They just love to sing, and they just cook the food and they'll sing and eat, and then that's it. And when the show comes, they go, whatever can give them a couple of dollars. Now, I heard you said something 2 weeks ago. Back in the days, when we make our record, and I have a very good friend in the music business, and I'm not gonna mention his name, but I remember when he had his song out, and he says, "I'm going to Jamaica to promote my song," and he went down to JBC at the time. That Barry G was on the radio, and he went in there and he gave him the record and said, "You're gonna play my record." And Barry G, for 2 weeks past, he never played his record. So one day he come and say, "I'm going to get my record back." I said, "What you mean?" He said, "I'm not play it, so I don't need it." And when he got on there, I asked if he record, he never have it. And he beat the living daylight out of it. And when he came out of the station, by the time he reached down the street, the music I played.
Right.
So we can't do that no more. The time changed.
Are we going to
Can't do it.
back to violence?
Nope.
No,
we
but you
can't.
see,
We can't.
No, it's not violence, because you see, it's like it was a control thing, and the poorer man them cannot get their music played. I remember Leroy Sibbles came from the same town where me come from. Leroy Sibbles come from Maypen. I come from Maypen.
Hold on, caller, hold on. Let Oliver complete his thought, and then you can make your statement, caller. Go ahead, Oliver.
See,
Mr. Samuel.
Leroy Sibbles, right? When he first started singing, signed with GG, but I don't know who that, GG Records, out of Maypen, right? And he did a little thing, but he never educated himself to the level. Everything go back to VP. When GG died, he died poor.
Right.
And he had so much artists, right? But now you find out you have a lot of good reggae singers, but they keep singing over other people's songs.
Right, version.
Look at Sanchez, great singer, but he could never nominate it for a Grammy.
Nope.
Because he sing other people's songs.
Version.
And that's where they lose it.
I'm gonna let caller go, and then I have a question for you, Mr. Samuels. Go ahead, caller. Queen.
No, what I was just interjecting where what Oliver is saying is making sense, and what we have been talking about for the past, say, 3 or 4 weeks now is getting a committee together that can work with the artists and the government at the same time to expose reggae. I mean, the real reggae. I'm not talking about that mess that they have out there. To put real reggae out there and to monitor how the spending goes, how the recognition goes. And there are enough educated people out there in Jamaica and people that do understand what is going on that can make these changes. Oliver is a good individual. Mackie is a good individual. Johnny is a good individual. And maybe we do need a diaspora, the people in America, England, wherever. And it's not education because Jamaicans are the smartest people there is on the face of this earth.
Right.
But we tend to know more and can do more, in terms of the way how the Jamaicans view the Americans and the overseers, I should say, rather. They feel you're more educated than they are, which you're not. But maybe they will tend to listen to folks coming from abroad more and make these changes. But these changes have to occur, and it's going to occur through an organization or a group of people who knows music, knows the government, coming together and making these changes. Or we're going to be talking and keep talking every week, and nothing is being done.
Right.
Because this program, the Powerhouse Radio, is really the only program that I hear, like Oliver said, that's talking about reggae and what is really going on in the reggae industry. You know what I mean? And like I said, right now we can't rely on Jamaica folks living in Jamaica to make these changes because it's like they're deaf and dumb to what's going on.
Well, that
So
was
it's
that.
folks like
That was to one of my
like
questions even last week, and that's what this show this week was supposed to be about, a lot of solutions. Because my question is last week, who is going to be in charge? Whom is going to be in charge of choosing
and setting the rules?
and the persons that are supposed to look over this group? Who is going
I
to be in
think
charge of setting up the rules and stuff, such as, you know,
no, I I think what should happen, I don't mean to cut you, I think what should happen, they should put the copyright laws in effect.
Yes.
That's what they need to do. So you can steal somebody's songs and you don't do this to the person. The artists get what they're supposed to get, and the percentage. Every time they play the music on the radio, they get paid. When they play in the nightclub, they're supposed to get paid. It's called mechanical rights.
or isn't
These
that
are stuff that, go ahead.
isn't that something that is being done now with even
No, not in Jamaica. You see, in Jamaica, as far as the American market is concerned, Jamaican music is pirate music.
Right. ASCAP doesn't
Because
count money
it don't
from
count,
Jamaica.
because they've been
BMI
taking
neither.
American songs and sing it over, and who get the royalties? You go to Jamaica, one artist tell me, I hear my song playing in reggae. How they do that? Says that's reggae. Because you see now, people forget when reggae started, right? Remember, Bob Marley used to sit down at my father's house in Maypen, right? And my great-grandfather had to bail him out of jail when they lock him up, when he sing Small Axe and that. Jail him come from, and when you say you're a dopey conqueror, jail him see that. You see? So when he come out, they had banned his music, you know. It's a rebel music. And remember back in the 60s, the Queen of England make a law to kill all Rasta man.
Right.
They call them Blackheart man. My father, my grandmother, we have to hide in the bush at Jamaica, and they're in the hill of Brandon Hill. That's why I love that the place so. You see? And then couldn't come up the hill to catch them.
That's a second maroon town.
Yes, because maybe I wouldn't be born today. They probably would kill her. But you see, this is where the music come from. And when the music and the real music talk about the pressure of the people, they don't want you to hear it. Then give you the arms house music now to start violence. And then people got money gone to prison and them get money from them, and they get what they do when they get them to go do outside work from the jail, they give them $1 a day for do slavery. So that is where it gone to. Them turn it in a violence. Now, in a Jamaica, then tell you, say, the music of a lock off at 12 o'clock. Madness. But Sunsplash go till morning.
No, some other parties go till morning too, because it depends upon how much money you got to pay the police. See? Like they was talking about the money drops. Is that what y'all call it?
Yeah, but we still with the solution part.
The solution for it is an equal application of all the laws.
Yes, the laws has to be in place to protect the music. Right?
You cannot use the JDF to do the JCF job. Yeah, when you bring the JDF in, they don't do what the JCF does. Yeah, one is police, the other one is the army. The army does not follow the laws. The JCF is the ones who have to follow the laws, and they are the ones who are supposed to shut down these illegal dances. But not only that, you got politicians who go to these dances and who are seen there, and not only them, but community so-called leaders go there and endorse this, and that's how this kid end up speaking these words to his teacher. And the teacher got the nerve to be out there dancing some of this nastiness with these kids paying attention.
It still don't change of whom is going to be the process, the first process of whom, how to pick the individuals, because Mackie, the one who brought up this in one of his
it can't be government people, that's for sure.
Watch this. Watch this, lady D. I like what you said. No, build up on that. The solution to that, the airwaves right? They need to stop and ban all of those lyrics that they have with the cussing and the this and the that. Because remember, I used to be in Miami, you know, with Luke, the Two Life Crew, Broward County, right? With Nick Navarro.
Yeah.
No, hold on. Every Friday night, we used to get locked up when he says,
right.
When he sing the song, right? You couldn't sing no dirty words in record. Now, who allowed that? The government allowed it to happen because now they can put.
They don't enforce the morality clause.
Right. So now that's the songs them is all violence, you know. They might tell you how to beat woman, cuss woman, kill your brother,
rape.
and rape, and that's what the songs are. So the kids today are drinking, going to bar and come out and they commit crimes from the song. These guys, when we see are rappers now, we say them a hard rapper. You take them to an event and you fire 2 shots and see them run on the car and a car to police.
Wait.
But
even better. Ask them to read the morality law to you. They can't even read it.
But the question would be, is because of back then there used to be a censorship with music, with certain types of music. And you're saying now there's not really any censorship. Is Jamaica trying too much to become Americanized in the music industry, where they are allowing, because a lot of American music, even the other day, I was listening to 107, I think, one of them, B103, one of them I was listening to. And the music that was played, just like a lot of Jamaican music, they are edited. But the way they are edited, you still know the word that they were say.
Right, they shouldn't even come that close. Because if them lock up Bob Marley, you say.
So my question to you all would be, is reggae music, Jamaican music, trying to become more Americanized, where they are allowing radio, put this way, radio.
Okay, let me say something to that. It is not reggae music, you know. They call it hip-hop reggae.
Right.
And a reggae music that hip-hop reggae is violent and it cuss and carry on.
And dancehall.
And dancehall, those are hip-hop reggae. Because if you notice the beat, when you take the hip-hop reggae beat, and because you have a Jamaican accent
about
and you
140
sing,
beats a minute or more.
Yeah, you think it's a reggae. Because reggae is based on the downbeat of it. It's an half note.
Oh, wait. Not to cut you. Did you just hear what he said? It's based on the downbeat. That's 1, 2, 3, 4. Not 1 and 3. That's why them people who won the Grammy didn't play reggae. He just gave you the technical explanation. You know what, Oliver, we've been needing you to be here to give us that for 3 weeks. You just knocked my phone off the stand. That's how powerful that was.
Well, this is why
because I read music and I know what it is.
This is why, if there, as Mackie suggested, a committee that is being made, and we're talking, we're trying to get to a couple of solutions, because it comes back to, okay, these music are being made, the beats, where the committee, we're coming back to the committee. First, we have to get a committee together. And how is this committee going to be formed? Whom is taking up the mantle in choosing the individuals, or is it a process where the producers, engineers, artists do an essay, submit it to become a candidate for such a position? And
I think
the vetting process of these candidates, because these are, and then would we allow the masses to vote on whom? What would be a process? Because we trying to get to solutions now.
I think the process of this, it has to do with the media. The media controls everything you do, right? And it can go right or left. You can go right or wrong, right? So if the media That's where it starts. That can change that. Because if you start stopping these lyrics, it's not gonna stop really until somebody of a different color from us get really hurt around it. Then you see they start to make changes.
Oh, so you talking about
That's
like
when.
what happened with the European when they
Yes.
came in with the gay people saying no more boom bye bye, no more elephant man, whatever.
Right.
When they had to
Yes.
stop, when they had to sign that agreement that they wouldn't do hate music anymore. So if they're not doing
They,
hate music, why is hate music still all over the radio in Jamaica?
mhm.
Because it's
You
gay,
see?
because it doesn't have any gay content. Is that why it's allowed?
Well,
Ooh.
this is where this group, this government that is formed within the entertainment fraternity is to come together and make these choices. But the first thing is, if for us to come together, there have to be a structure.
Yeah, you're right. It has to be.
Right, a
But
format
the,
how all of this is gonna come about, because
mhm.
we all have our experiences within the musical industry.
Yes.
So we need to have a go ahead, Oliver.
You see, I remember in the early 80s, 90s, when I came off the road. And at one point, before I leave, I went away for 2, 3 years, I toured. And I came back, I said, I will never do reggae music again. You know why? I did a lot of mixing and mastering of songs. And when I go to collect my money, you know what I get? A 45 in my face. And say, you want to live or die? I leave it alone and I leave reggae. When I came back from overseas, when I started to hear the reggae music, but them will kill sound boy, shot sound boy, I was so shocked because I'm saying, is that why are they threatening? Because I was so out of reggae because of the violence that was in it. They killed my uncle for it and they killed my cousin for it. They tried to kill me too. You see? And that's how they just say you're making too much money in the music. You see? So when I heard those songs, and I'm saying, oh my gosh, if you go to a sound clash back in the early 80s or 90s, a lot of people get killed.
Yeah.
People don't know this because
Yeah.
of the language in the music and what they was
Right.
doing. Even Beenie Man and them get up on stage, yeah, and Bounty Killer and Ninja Man, Super Cat, they fight on stage because of the
Yeah.
lyrics.
Yeah.
The lyrics. So
So
this is what has to change. The government need to take a stand. The media need to take a stand. But the media is making money from the violence. You
because
see? Because now,
stay
if somebody don't and say shot somebody that a dance, the big dance they
Spectator
on
sport.
TV, yes,
where we said
sponsors come along, boom. You
sell.
see?
We always said sex and
So
money
we got to
Sex
stop
and
that. Why think
violence.
so much?
with
Why
the
think so much rape going on even in Jamaica? The music too. I'm not saying that's all the music, but
yeah, but
a lot.
the same
You see,
government.
and a lot of things too. I've been in this music so long, and I even talked to some of my friends them who are reggae artists, right? And they might cuss me now. Me ever say something might hurt somebody's feelings, but me not care. See, a lot of these reggae artists, when me notice, half of them sing or them costume man, you need to go wash yourself, you stink and you this and that. So I wonder if half of the musicians are batty man. Because they costume woman
Woo!
stay there, they costume, and at the end of the night, they're looking for a girl to go lay down with. And you know, it's crazy. That's why a lot of them are rapists. Remember when me tell you, say, they might not like me if you said it, but I see
Tell
it
the truth. Please
personally.
tell the truth. I've already
You
been
see?
talking about it.
And they go down there, we talk to the girl, and because I'm a musician, and who I try hold on. You see, I don't have no mercy upon them
So let me ask you something,
because they
Oliver.
do that.
Let me ask you
And
something.
it need all that need for change in the middle. That's why I'm saying when they catch some of them, I said they rape a woman and
They
if
need
you
to
go
go
to
to
jail,
jail.
then you have no mercy for them. Then I have no mercy for them. And after some of them have children, you them a change now say, well, but what he was doing before.
Yeah,
You see?
man,
All these things have to change. And
man.
it's real bad.
I would love to talk to Oliver again because it's 10:11, and
Oliver, please come back.
we have so much to cover, Oliver, and
I've been
but let me say this. I want to ask a question. And it's a question I asked of Mackie and Don, and I think the next gentleman, Sledge or something. But as from coming from an engineer perspective, what is okay? I asked two questions. I asked it in two phases. For the question that I started out with was, what is the reggae fraternity not doing now within their music to draw the masses? Because artists back in the days, such as
they're not held
Bob
responsible.
still reigning. Bob dead X amount of years and Bob still a reign now. And so much cultural reggae artists about is around now. And these cultural reggae artists, they're not grabbing the masses, such as those past artists, Dennis, Gregory, all of those other John Holt, all of those old time artists that their reggae music was
Foundation.
people know about it. What is lacking in the reggae music, the contents, whatever it be, why people are not gravitating to it? My second part of the question was, do you feel that back in the days, back in the 80s and 70s and stuff like that, the competition that reggae did not have, that type of dance hall competition, because dance hall wasn't necessarily like hot
right
until like the end of the late 70s, 80s, early 80s and stuff like that. The dance hall music came into effect. So with the cultural music now not being gravitatious to listening people listening ears, and dancehall is more. Do you feel that why a lot of reggae artists now are not going anywhere? Their music is not even be listening to, because everybody's blaming it on the radio. But I'm gonna let you answer that. Then I'm gonna come in with the part of everybody's blaming it on radio, media outlet, such as. But you go ahead. Can you?
No, you see what it is. You don't have no musicians no more. You have beat makers. You have beat makers, right?
Pro Tours.
When we used to get to studio and we go for do music, you have the guitar man, you have the bass man, and the man in the same room. You see? So you don't have a machine we make the same sound when this man go buy the machine, and the same sound you get. When you have the man playing the rhythm, the reggae is a heart and soul vibes, So them players can't them feel. That's why I say back in the days, two reggae music could have never sound the same way. Today, when you hear a man put out a rhythm, one rhythm man put 10 artists on it. You wonder what going. The musicians not did it no more. The engineers, the man getting like a laptop and him sit and him cut. They no mixing, no creativity in his mind. When we are mix music, you see, when we mixing music, we have to sit down and mix the music and make it put you asleep and you wake up the next morning.
Vibes.
You see? And so we do it. So when you hear the music, that's why those foundation music have so much meaning and feeling from the music. You see? So that is what missing today. The younger generation.
No vibes.
Yes, the younger generation then just make beats. There's no vibe. Some of them, when they bring songs to me to mix, and me tell them, say, that is a clap. The man tell me, say, it's a snare. Me say, have you ever seen a snare drum? You don't know what it sound like. Because you have all the instruments in from there and you don't know what it sound like. You never see it. So you cannot come and I say, oh, me make a track in a reggae. No, reggae music is foundation music. It has a message. And when you sing, if you notice, no care how the reggae music is, and you there dance and then drop hit the place, lift up.
That's it.
You hear me?
The vibes.
Real quick. You say reggae music, right? But the no artist them is saying that the upliftment cultural artists, reggae artists, them is saying what they're doing is reggae. The content, so they're saying the lyrics that they're singing of oppression, of all these things, are still not getting the recognition. So are we saying that the bass and the rhythm and the vibes of those instruments?
No, you see what it is now?
It's
why
go ahead.
Why is that now? If you notice, I want to show you something. If you go to Africa and you come with this hip hop reggae, they run you off of the stage. You know?
They don't want to hear that.
They don't want to hear it. They run you off of the stage. They say, "What are you doing? You're not playing nothing." You see, again, some parts of the media, they don't want to play it. Them say a old people song. Them say old music. But now, them start to wish-wash reggae. I try to take reggae and put it to UB40 them style and this and this and to wash it off.
They can't feel it. They can't feel it.
Make it more appealing to the young masses so they can listen.
Right.
Because us older folks, a lot of us older folks.
Me, I'm older. I'm older.
Do a lot of them really listen to radio? Do they really pull up social media and is engaging in these new social media? Are they doing any of that? You can hear me? Are they doing?
I'm hearing you.
Are they doing any of those things?
No, you see what is happening. Again, see, I'm at the radio station.
You sound just like me. Oliver is repeating my answers. Oliver, I love you because you know exactly how I feel. And I'm going to say something. You vindicating me right now. Everybody who said I didn't know what I was talking about when I earned the title Acid, Anti-Slackness, Intellectual Development, because I refuse to play any of the rest of that nonsense because it's not good.
I'm saying you have the cultural music that artists are singing today. Why aren't these music being accepted, even the young culture? Is it because the beat?
Okay.
But if we're
it's not the beat, you know. It's the education of the music. You see, what is happening now? You find that a lot of these new style of musicians can't play those beats, can't play those things.
They can't penetrate it.
They can't play it. Right. So they make beats and they make sound. So now it plays so much on the airwave. You know what I hear? A prime example. Right now, if you have a song, let me go back a little bit. Do you know Bob Marley never make a new album? Come and make Small Axe, Big Tree. And the same
everything is remixed.
Over and over and over. You and say they got tired to see me face. You can't get me out of the race. Him put a foundation down for sure you say the reggae music will live forever. You see? And it redo and it's the same song. If you look on Small Axe and Kaya.
Yeah.
And the same song from way back in the 60s. And it wasn't new enough. Now, when you find these artists now, I sing all these songs here with this music, and they're not musicians and they're not creative. You see? So you're losing the culture of the music. That is what is happening. So
are these newer artists, are these newer reggae artists, why they're not grasping the listenership from people? Is it because of the watered down rhythms that they are?
Because they don't know. They don't know music.
Ring-ding.
They don't know music.
So
they don't know music. You know something? Okay, one question maybe. I want to show you something. I want to show you something quick. Even in America, to show you something. Even in America, I came here and I went to school here. If you notice, them take music out of school.
Right.
Yeah.
So what you find now, you don't find musicians, you find beat makers and them making noise and them end up on the way to jail.
Wait, though. So now, but one thing, Oliver, you left out one thing. You left out the most important thing. The people who get music instruction are either in private school or they're in white schools. There's no drums, bass, or any instruments in black schools.
So now, this is how Lady D. They take it out of school here, right? So right now, even if you go, look what they do with the marching band. When somebody get hurt and died, they want to cancel all music out of school. Them say violent, right? Because if you notice, the white school, them have band. And when you go to concert, if you notice, you see them have opera, them have big orchestra, and them still, they're making money, right? Now,
they tour. They go on tours to Europe.
Yes, they go on tour. So the hip hop and the dancehall and the this and this, right? It's changed the music. Changing reggae music. Now, the foundation now, watch this now. I remember when reggae music was on the verge of dying, right? And you know who brought it back to the forefront? I don't want to give him too much credit, but I have to say it. It was Sizzler and when you sing Dry Cry, that kind of bring the reggae, because Dry Cry without long time, but nobody in the play it. They not play all the game, and that was the one that kind of bring the culture back and keep it on. After that, hold on. After that, now, if you notice, no more culture after them. Taurus Riley close and kind of bring it a little bit more. But nobody else not today, if you notice. And then pretty soon, I start rap and carry on, and then just wash out. Right. And Berries is the last one where did the way I kind of carry. So the rest of them, then figure say, me not sing, so me not do that. Because what need to happen is the education of it and the media. Big help need to bring that back into the forefront. That's what need to happen. Okay. So now, ladies, to say what you're saying, we need to have a committee and a people like us who could start that. And once the artist is educated on how to get their money, how to get their royalties, so they can have to sing one song, they don't have to sing 30 songs. American artists sing one song, and he's set for the rest of his life.
I can see clearly now. Do you know how much money that's made so far? Yes. How much money it's still making every day?
It's 10:54, so we're gonna get ready to wrap it up. But
you can't wrap up yet.
Why you want to cut off right now when it's in the best part? We understand you got to cut it off, but you know you got to let this go for a minute more.
Listen to this now. The Marcia Griffith song, Electric Slide. He play everywhere in the world. All she get was I think $1,000 she get for that song and no more money.
Really?
And it's now it's a what is it, triple diamond or something like that?
Yes. Everywhere you go, every country.
Oh, wait a minute.
Every cruise ship.
Yeah, back to Marcia Griffith. $1,000 she got for Electric Slide.
Right.
Yes, for singing.
Wait a minute. What happened with
How come?
Because that's
and Bob Andy. Don't forget about the Bob Andy part of it.
I'm saying, because they're not getting the mechanical right, the publishing rights, none of that. So what they get are just what they go perform. And guess what, Lady D? If the guy will own the music says she can't perform it, she can't sing it.
She can't.
So
but he must say not, because the more she sing it, the bigger for him pack again.
So she didn't write that song.
No, she didn't write it. But what I'm saying, if somebody was around, she was educated to the business, should have mechanical rights, publishing rights, she could have been wealthy enough to sing another song.
Okay.
That's why Jamaica needs a school of fine arts, and also at the University of West Indies needs a business school that specializes in music. I've been saying this for so many years that I get sick of saying it, so I just decided to bring it back this year.
So back to the board.
She trying to shut us down,
Make
Oliver. She about
no,
to cut the show off.
I'm not trying to. I'm not trying to shut. What I'm
We
saying,
can save we can save it for next week because I love this and it really making a lot of headway and it really need to be addressed. You
it needs
see, because
it needs to
it
be.
need to help the artists. You need to help the artists because right now I see some of my artist friends, Little John, and Mr. Porty, right? Mrs. Charlie Chaplin, Mrs. Josie Wheel. And they're okay, but they're not at the level where they should have been.
Okay, coming back for next week. Since you bring up those artists,
Wait a minute, Bob Andy. Don't forget Bob Andy because we got to get the Bob Andy story
No,
in
but
there.
now with this show now, lady, I promise you, I'm gonna reach out to some of them where they can come and express because a lot of them don't realize what is happening. And the more what I want to get is Joe Isaac, the original
Yes.
Jamaican. He
okay,
live in Miami. I'm never talk to him and say, look, because these guys not get nothing.
and
You see, so you start from there and just bring it and says, I mean, it's crazy. That's what need to be done. We need to help the artists and because I'm going to say something, then you can cut out.
uh, no,
And one thing, I was so proud of one man at Jamaica. And you know who he was?
oh,
Usain Bolt.
Yes.
You know why I'm proud of him? When him look and say, if Usain Bolt had sell himself and go to University of America and run for America, like what Donovan Bailey do, and Ben Johnson do, and Christopher Laettner do, them Jamaica wouldn't have the status where it have right now. When him said to him, say, me now gonna do me a tennis so I build my country and run. Now Jamaica they on the map as one of the pickiest athlete where you can never think of, male and female. Now, if the greed come in and then take the money and go, if they take the money enough for this scholarship, guess what? Then become citizen of America.
Yep.
And you have to run for America. And America get all the riches. You see, every gold medal when they run at the Olympics, and you say you run for America, a big money that the sponsorship get,
yeah,
You hear me I tell you? They're mad now because now the Jamaican, them now left. They must say we are stay here so and we are take care of this and they can't figure out why we run so.
Yeah.
Come on now.
what
Like
they're
You see, so
Julianne Fraser.
that's where the music need to go. We need to come together and say, look, listen, brethren, it's time we stop this footage. The war business needs to stop now the music. When them come with the violence, shall lock them up. Yeah, to me, lock
Wait a
them
minute.
up.
Wait a minute, Oliver. One second. I gotta cut you. Don't you feel that those people who want to be violent in the music business, that there's a place for them in a certain genre that should be regulated specifically because that's what they want? Because we're not going to be able to stop gun music, but we need to be able to create a genre that could be regulated. That would be great for next week.
music. We can't stop violence nor sex music.
So we're gonna have to regulate it some kind of way.
We're not talking violence, but it's where the music. You remember when Tupac they sing about Bob Dole, and then them, you see, people forget that. You see, and he said, Mr. Bob Dole may hit you with the hot tracks.
All right.
You see, and it crossed into and said no, right? But you see, this is where we need now to grab this music. We need to have our own music award. We shouldn't have somebody that tell we say we don't have a reggae this and a reggae. Look in a what you call the Grammys you have
four
reggae.
shows we done heard that. Five shows. This is the fifth show. That's the fifth. You're the fifth person that said that, Oliver. I'm with that.
You know something, Daddy? You know you want to go. You know you want to go. But
there has been lots of persons that have tried the award show and all of this. And
I'm gonna stop it right there. I'm gonna stop it right there.
And there have been lots of radio stations that has played or tried to gear their audience as to cultural, non-sexual, not vulgar music. But everything we're talking about, yes, It needs to be done, but who and how are all of these things going to be compensated for? All of these things run off of money. So and money runs off of listenership, it runs off of promotions, it runs off of numbers. So when you're on a radio station, and I've said this for the last 2-3 programmings, for there to be a solution, how is these radio stations that depends on listenership, in order to have the numbers, in order to go to these organizations to seek sponsorship, to pay their light, their internet bill, their cable, whatever it takes to run a radio station. Like I said, like myself, okay, I'm able to do that. But somewhere along the line, I may get tired of using my fund money.
Me.
And no longer no longer call it my hobby money, and want to be compensated. But some persons, some organizations, just about, if there's 100 organizations, 95 or 98% of them is not advertising with you because your numbers aren't up. In order, like I stated earlier, people of certain age group, in the age group of sometime 45 to 60, 70, 80, they don't even really listen to radio. The age group of 18 go up to, let's say, even 30. They're more listening to things such as satellite and internet, YouTube, and stuff like that. Those are where. So when radio stations, since everything is being blamed on media, how are these radio media, radio, television, how are these people going to pay for their overhead?
I'm going to show you.
In the listenership,
Okay.
because people of our age group.
No. I'm going to show you something where they might try to kill me for this, but it's all good. Let me tell you something. You have a light bill will come at your house, right?
Mm-hmm.
Is it the same every month?
Yeah.
Okay. You know why is that?
Mm-hmm.
Because every time you click on the internet and you listen to something, you go up on your light bill.
Mm-hmm.
You see? That's how they get the money. Look at the football team and the stadium, and the one player get $100 million. There's no way on God's earth so much people can come at stadium for one man get $100 million and the rest of them don't get none. It come off of your light bill. So when them accost the music and stuff, the people them are going to listen to it more. It might be free, but when you pay your phone bill, 2 cents come and so, you must say something.
So this is where this organization is going to.
Yeah, you the thing they call, they call it, I'm going to tell you what they call it. They call it utility. You see, when they have this strike with the football player, them, and the owner say, we can't give you this much money, but the utility money, you know, I get none of that. You see? That's where the money come from. So when the doctor music are played, the world for kids, them turn on them phone and turn on your light at your house. So them not care about what you are doing. They just want to know, say you turn on something. That's where the money come from. That's why they can get billions of dollars, thousands of dollars so quick. Because of each household in America, each household in your state, that's where it come from.
Happen to radio, but then you're asking government to get involved.
No. Radio do the same thing. You remember Napster? Hold on.
You can go to a light company and says everybody.
No. Lady D. They don't have to go to the light company. It's all connected. Just like when you get into an Uber, you get your money in the bank, and you know where the rest of the money go to? Uber. You don't even see it, but then get for them right off the top. So when you pay and you look at your receipt again, when you go to a store and when you pay your light, they might take a 2 cents. You're not going to miss it. But if you have 1 billion people taking a 2 cents off of that, it's a lot of money.
Yes, but
this is how they get the money. How you think they make money through the internet when they're showing you?
It's radio.
That's where it come from.
How does
the sponsors them? Then we put up the money because they want if you turn on your light. Your light bill every month is never the same. If you burn the same pot you cook, the same fridge you have on, the same clothes, your light bill never the same. When them have games,
Oliver, that's where we start next week, right where you at now. Don't forget what you said, because I'm going to take you right back there, because it's about the economy. We're talking about the economy. We're talking about the music business, and we're talking about the economy of the Caribbean. We're going to talk also about the Chinese bringing in the brand new pressing plant into Jamaica that no one is talking about, which really upsets me that the government of Jamaica hasn't regulated that. But we're also going to talk about the royalties that are being hidden, and that's where we got to go. So next week is going to be... People think this show is hot. Next week we're gonna burn every wire. Ain't nothing gonna happen. We're gonna burn out the wires.
Remember Nabstar?
Yes.
When Nabstar, I'm making money. Everybody download and say free.
Still exists. It still exists. It
them
still
say free,
exists.
Right?
We're gonna try.
When you get your cable bill, that's why the rest of the company gets upset because they couldn't figure out how to make the money. That's how they take it off of your cable bill. 1 cent, 2 cents. Every time you do, it's free. Free way.
But in order for all of them to get all of these, for you to get the money, in order for the radio station to get the money, we still need to show enough listenership so that these...
Yes, Lady D. Lady D, I love you very much, but listen to this. How many black radio stations you see? As much as one come up, CBS, Cox Radio, and whatever, buy them out. Boom, you're out, because it's an alliance. They're not letting you in it.
Right. Just like now, VP.
They're not letting you in
out all of the music from the different companies.
Yes, if you notice, when you see a football game or a football game mostly, we black out now, this is because they couldn't come up to who forget what, and it black out. Well,
we're gonna talk because I'm still not grasping.
One day I sit down, I can't talk on the
We're gonna talk. We're gonna next week, Oliver. We're gonna explain market share to her, and we're gonna explain the way that market share is served up to the different advertisers and how it gets meted out to the different organizations like Channel One, because we haven't touched on it yet, and she doesn't know about it, and we need to touch on that.
Watch this, Lady D. When you go to a nightclub, the owner of that nightclub, have to pay ASCAP on every cup when you sing and play. But you know how he pay for it? He must fee say DJ come in and pay for free. Him have a set fee when pay every month. Every quarter.
A blanket.
And you have to pay that. If you not pay that, then lock him down.
Right, it's a blanket.
Right? Yes, that's how it is. And then pay for it. So it's all, and so the people behind that is making the money, and that's where the artists them don't educate themselves.
It's called digital licensure.
Thank you.
We're gonna, because I hear what you're saying. I hear everything that you're saying. I hear everything.
I bet you right now, if we form a committee and control reggae music, you have to move and dig on the ground.
All I hear
because you make too much money. Yeah, I'm telling you, it's the artist them right now. You see, right now, take a stock right now.
I think we.
If no, make that decision, we can go, because if you remember when they make Kings of Comedy, the guy who did that show, he never had no money, and they broke. But he get the top best artists, them at the top of the comedian church, and sell out every stadium. If we take a reggae artist, Barry's Hammond, and the top reggae, we can sell out every arena across America. And the artists them will be well taken care of. But now, when the artists come, how much are going to pay me, brethren? And you don't sit down and see the plan. Let's take it. Before my friend Abuja went off to jail, we sit down with him in their $4 deal, with Annette Brissett. When we write this song on Whoopton, when I'm late to race and the East is the best, we say, Bojo, make we do a thing and we come together and do a tour. You know how much money you could have made on that tour if you got 3-4 artists with you, but they don't see it that way. And this is what's missing. You see, if you notice with Casey Kasem and Dick Clark back in the days, then get the artists to come to a building, then perform, they sell out, artists get paid. That's the key for the success of the artist.
You know
That's
what?
the key.
I'm going to tell y'all something, a secret right now that's going to break everybody's heart. I worked for Tony Johnson, who was the originator of Sunsplash. So when Sunsplash was planned, I was working for him, and I saw all the contracts, and I saw how they were negotiated. And I'm going to tell you something. What he just said is exactly what happens. When Tony put the show together, we had different contracts for different areas of the world, and one thing every artist got was the same thing everywhere they went. It was never a discussion. You got a check, and that was it.
Like I said,
was no, you got to pay me this, you got to pay me that. No. So next week, we're going to tear all of this up.
And Reggae and the River do the same thing. They get $5,000 for each artist. I know. That's it.
That's it. I worked with Jazz in the Gardens, and I can tell you exactly what was going on with that, because that was recent here in America. I mean, there's so many areas in this that we need to kind of flesh out.
I don't think that. Wait a minute.
Okay, Lady B, go ahead. You can close off.
I hear what both of you are saying, but
you can close.
You all are hearing what I'm saying, because you all are coming. You all are not. I won't say not.
We heard you. We just know that you want to know more. So next week we're gonna give you more.
Okay.
We need to form a committee. Okay.
I will speak on it next week. Because if you start now on starting the committee, it's gonna drag us out another 15 minutes. It is 10:42.
We can start it now. Get the artists them in line and give them educational classes and then show and then teach you
about that too. We did have a caller. You still on the line, Queen?
I'm listening.
Queen.
It's very interesting and it's fiery.
Big up yourself, brother B. Possibly says good night. Listen, we getting off the air right now.
Notice how she making us get off the air. Notice how she's shutting the show down, y'all.
Fiery, but we have to keep it. We gotta keep the rest of it for next week. Because, like I said,
y'all are not everybody who's listening, you need to put it out, put that on blast. Next week, tune in, because this is hot and we need to know how to form this committee, because it's well needed.
Yes, Queen, yes. Mama Asid was talking. Mama Asid was talking this morning. Afternoon, and Mama Asid wanted us to cut this. We got to talk about other stuff, but there's facets to this that
we did.
Oliver, we thank you for joining us. You want to say anything before you leave to our listeners?
Now, if I talk again, I talk another hour. So it's a pleasure talking with you two ladies. It's wonderful. I listen to you all.
You're going to join us at 8 o'clock next week, please? 8 o'clock our time?
I should, because I'm down by the airport at this TV station now.
So please don't forget us.
So I think I'll be able to. I might join you maybe 8:30 or so, but I'll be able to join you.
Okay,
so my show finishes at 8.
I think you'll join us again. And Queen, you want to say anything to the listener? Well, you did. You want to say anything as a listener?
No, like I said, we need to put it on blast out there. We need people to tune in, and we need you all to be a part of this, because we need that change. We need to form that committee.
Yes.
It's urgently needed.
Yes.
We need you to help us decide how we're going to do this and who is going to do this.
Okay.
And
tell them, Queen.
Have a blessed weekend.
You too.
Well, we thank you for joining us, and patiently waiting in the background there. We want to thank you for that as well.
I need to come on more weeks.
I will come on next week. I've done it all. Mama Asid said, don't know this entertainment business.
True, me I said.
I'm not
More I talk about the economy.
I said, Acid, we got to, it's a very hot topic right now. So we're on this hot topic and we just gonna, you know, so this was supposed to be the last one. We're going over with you next week, Oliver, one more time. And entertainment. Make sure that, all of these things that are taped, you can go and you can share it. Share it with your friends, your family. Go to the YouTube channel, like, subscribe, hit the notification button. But also, it's shareable. Just go and share it with your friends. Say, yo, listen to this program. Listen to this, what they're talking about. Call in next week and reason with them and stuff like that. So just share it. Share, share, share. And always when you come on, just hit that like button there. We need that, and we asking each and everyone to go and subscribe.
You need to share it so it pick up your listenership and you can get your sponsors and you're good.
Yeah, you got it.
That's what we want.
Everyone to share, 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 share.
And subscribe.
And also, I'm inviting you all to listen to all the fantabulous programs right here on the Powerhouse Radio. Today's Thursday. Well, you got Reasoning Thursdays each and every Thursdays from 8 to 9. You see, almost 11 o'clock when the people still have me upon ear. And then Saturdays, we have the Apostle Blair Gospel Explosion from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. Then yours truly, Lady D, is on from 12 to 3. It's to 12 to 4, but I'm cutting down.
I thought you was cutting your show off.
My
12 to 3?
For the summer, I'm on my time. But also on Sundays, we do our Gospel Explosion with the Gospel Vibes crew, Dr. Delingo, from 8 to 11. And then we go over to the house of the Lord and worship with the Hope Redemption Worship Center from 11 to 2. Then it's all about love, nothing but love with yours truly, Lady D, Blossom, and Cool G from 7 to 9. And you don't want to miss Let's Cry. You don't want to miss Let's Cry.
No, be there.
Gotta check them out with Tonya, Marcus, and McKenna. All right, here on the Powerhouse Radio. Thank you all for vibes and with us. Mama Acid, you want to say anything to the listeners?
I just want to say, please, everybody come back next week because we are going to make sure that we get this business taken care of because Jamaica for too long has ignored its major cash crop. And we're going to make sure they see us standing out in the road.
Yeah. And
I know I'm hard to ignore.
In between all of the entertainment, we have to drop in one and two things because we still did not touch this Roe versus Wade that's going on. We have
child violence.
I want to talk to you
drugs
in regards to the child violence. I want to talk to you in regards to the win of the band. What's their name? Oh my God. What's their name?
We don't know them people name, and we're not going to say it anyway because they didn't really win. They were given something, but it wasn't a win.
I want to talk back with you, Oliver, as to this awards thing.
Soldier.
Because
the awards, well, yeah, that's something that we need
on a 1 and a 3. That ain't reggae.
Talk to you about the awards aspects of it as well. Okay.
I think the reggae awards should be as big as Sunfest.
We're not getting into
bigger.
Next week we get into it. So we just thank each and everyone for joining us and bless you. And please, please, please share.
And subscribe.
And I might as well I started out with it. I think I'm gonna leave back out with it.
And I think one thing before we go, the Reggae Awards should be held in Jamaica.
That's something that we discussed last week. Last week we touched that.
Yes,
that's where it should held.
Done in Jamaica.
Not in foreign.
We're gonna leave out with one of these new songs that MACKIE Don Minded has restarted, and I'm gonna leave back out with this because I think it's only appropriate. Love is the answer. That's one I played that going in. How about I play my next that I'm liking? These are all new tunes for Don Minded, so you could check them out. Saying a Prayer. We'll go back on with that. What do you think, Acid? Or start out?
Hey, look, you know what I want to hear? I want to hear Next Door Neighbor, but I know I'm not the next door neighbor no more.
All right.
You want? Okay,
hey,
so
Oliver, bring us new music next week. Don't forget.
I got a ton of them.
All right. But we definitely want to hear them. Next Door Neighbor from Don Minot. We love you. We check you all out next week. Same time, same place, same station. Go to our YouTube channel, like, subscribe, share, tell a friend and a friend and a family member. Also, when we're not on live on the Facebook or YouTube, always just go to our mother station, www.dapowerhouseradio.com, our tuning apps, our telephone line 667-930-9036, and sometimes we're on Victorious 89.1 FM with Dr. J. So I want to big up that crew as
big up Victory,
Fresh Vibes. Just want to say
big up ATL Atlanta, big up Irie ATL.
We leaving out with the man himself, Mr. Next Door Neighbor. Acid requested. Don Minot. Love it. Same place.
Okay, see you.
I heard a knocking at my back door last night, wondering who could it be, giving me such a fright. Opened my door and there she was, my next door neighbor. She said she not a peep, so she had to come over. Luciano.
Mama, I still want to be a next door neighbor. Ciao, ciao.
Ciao, ciao.
Oliver, I'm going to send you these songs and you listen to them and tell me.
Okay.
Said she heard some sweet reggae music. I have a little ital stew left over. She would have loved a little kiss. I told her I don't drink nor do I smoke. She said no bother, take this for a joke.
Blessings, Michelle. Good night. Good night.
And leave just before the morning light.
Thank you all for listening, tuning in right here to Reasoning Thursdays.
What a thing. Luciano. What a thing.
Join us next week as we continue part 5 on entertainment. Part 5 on our entertainment series next week.
Somebody please tell me, I heard a knocking at my